Okay, and for some reason, the thing decided to turn itself off again. And now this time, for no reason, it just stopped. So now we're into a part 3. What the hell? Seriously? Right, anyway. So, yeah, if you use the same attribute twice in a row, it's -1. You know, use it 3 times, it's -2. Each time is another -1. You use it in a row. So you have to use a different one if you don't want negative modifiers. And what that achieves, that's a little homebrew thing there. What that achieves is it stops the kinds of plots that player-led factions could come up with, because, you know, it's not down to the GM to sort of, it's not NPC factions. It's not where the GM can say, well, what is the RP thing here? What is the RP thing? This is player versus player. And because it's that, players want to actually gain the advantage over each other, actually, and they will meta it a bit. There will be some person versus person competitiveness, and so if they keep trying to use the same stat because it's their good stat or whatever, then it's going to it's going to get a bit two-dimensional and flat, isn't it? The same thing being if you try hitting the enemy on the same stat. I'll probably make it again, yeah, if you try hitting the enemy on the same stat 2 times in a row, then they will gain a +1 and then a +2 for each time after that, and so forth. So, I mean, that would make it interesting and fair, wouldn't it? To give bonuses if you do it that way, defensively. So, what Redhold decided to do was do some mercantile warring. Mercantile wars. So what did they do? Well, they decide they're going to send their merchants down to the south and let them assimilate with the other merchants. You know, just let merchants be merchants. But these are merchants in Karak's pocket. So this was a wealth attack. So this was basically a, what was it? Wealth goods versus wealth services, and he's basically gone into the south and like just doing merchant to merchant talk to try and find out where the supplies are coming from, effectively, so that he can identify where to hit to harm Tanador's supplies. And that attack succeeded as well. That plot succeeded. It was a draw actually on the dice, but then we went to the Fantasy Age system of higher attribute to decide, which I much prefer, to be honest with you. And whatever the thing was, as we know, Redhold have higher attributes, and they won it because they have the higher attribute. So they only just scraped that. So they'll gain a bonus to their next test against Tanador, but it won't be as high as it could have been, because they only just scraped it. So they gained a bit of valuable information about maybe like one place that's definitely supplying, but they don't know about the maybe 2 places that are supplying, just one. So they could hit that. So now, with this situation, both factions, little bit of growth, have managed to hurt each other effectively, take that stability down. Meanwhile, Tanador has been gathering more forces, moving around the mountains, secretly, carefully, and, you know, the envoys are out, basically spreading the word. And that in itself is going to get back to Karak as well, but I think he already figures, you know, who it is. But basically, yeah, you know, you've been waiting, you've been oppressed now long enough. So it looks like Karak's on the verge of hitting that supply village that seems to basically punishing them, hitting them and saying, don't you dare try to go against me, this is what happens. You know, I'm going to do this and make an example to all the other villages not to stand against us. That's what I think he's probably going to do. So we'll see how that works out. Until next one, I'll see you at the table.